My name is Elle Schmidt, and I'm going to be discussing the mental wellness attitude questions that we went over. And I'm going to do it in video format because I want to start getting better at articulating things out loud as if I'm talking to someone face to face. I might make a couple cuts in the videos just to regain my thoughts, but I'm going to try to get it in as few takes as possible. So there was two questions that stood out to me that I will be kind of discussing about today. So the first one was number 10, where it says, I feel as comfortable talking to a person with a mental illness as I do talking with a person with a physical illness. So my reason for picking out this one is because I've been in both contexts. I've talked to people with mental illnesses, I've talked to people with physical illness. It's usually a family or friend, so that's why I picked it. My initial reaction is I feel comfortable in both. I feel comfortable doing both settings. Obviously, talking to someone with a mental illness is a different approach than someone with a physical illness. It just really depends on the context of the matter. But the reason why I also selected this one is because we've been talking about therapeutic use of self and kind of how to be able to use a therapeutic use of self without overcrossing certain boundaries with the patient and the physician. We want to be able to sympathize without oversharing our own personal experience. We are not to share our own personal experience with our clientele. So that is something I really want to work on because I don't have any healthcare experience. I have experience talking to people in both contexts of mental and physical illness, but my therapeutic use of self in those contexts is using my own personal story in order to try to relate or help them through it. So a resource that I checked out for this, there's a YouTuber, he goes by OTE Me, and he is a certified OT, and he actually talks about how to use the therapeutic use of self in his video called The Power of You. And he kind of talks about the importance of motivation and encouragement and how engaging in that way can help get helpful outcomes without crossing any sort of confidentiality or boundaries. So that is the first website. I've already utilized this resource. I will continue to utilize other resources he might have on his YouTube page. I'm still yet to check those out, but I want to really utilize those right away so I can start to apply them even in these labs and my beginning fieldwork experiences, and then continue on as I continue to enter the OTA field. So this second question that I chose, and this kind of had a strong initial reaction for me, was number 15, and it was, I would use the terms crazy, nutty, mad, etc. to describe the colleagues, people with a mental illness that I would see in my fields. So that was a strong disagree the second I saw that one, because if you are using those terms in a professional setting, you are very much degrading the people that you are trying to help, and it also is just not encouraging whatsoever. We just talked about therapeutic use of self and the importance of encouragement, and if they were to hear through the grapevine that you're calling them crazy, nutty, mad, it's like you're viewing them less than human, and it's very degrading and it's disappointing. So I feel strongly about not referring to people that way, because these patients are going to be people, they are not their condition. But that being said, I included this as an area of improvement because I'm still new to the medical field, and I know that there's much more terminology that I may have countered in daily talk that I wouldn't be appropriate in a professional setting, and so I want to continue to be educated in that so I don't accidentally hurt people or misrepresent people with my words. So I was looking at different resources, and I found this mentalhealth.org, and this is through technically the UK, but they have a lot of very interesting topics where it kind of gives a summary of how should I talk about mental health, what are some phrases I should use or avoid, how do I talk to someone that I'm worried about, whether it's a family member, a friend, or just someone that you don't know super directly. So it gives very good outlook of how to start getting into that different mindset, like how do I go about addressing these issues where I'm still honoring the person who is struggling and without degrading them too. So I can include both of the resources in like a link below, But those are the two resources that I've already utilized. I will continue to utilize and use as I continue the schooling and enter the OTA field.